Before we get to today's show, I wanted to share a quick reminder that being financially organized is one of the biggest factors in building wealth. Want to be a millionaire? It's not going to happen if you're not organized with your money. So, how can you get organized? Well, our favorite app is Empower. It's free, allows you to connect your banks and brokers, and it gives you daily income and expense updates. Ready to try it out? You can sign up at thecollegeinvestor.com/empowermoney. Welcome to the College Investor Audio Show. Today, what a topic. The DOJ opens civil rights investigation into Harvard's $630 million in China-based funding. No kidding. All right, well, we're going to get to it in just a second, but if you want to dive deeper into this topic and any topic we talk about on the podcast, everything is at thecollegeinvestor.com, a treasure trove of amazing resources, all there for you. Also, you can get to know us, send us messages and comments and everything at The College Investor. Type in those words on social media, you'll find us. Let's take a look at this. Now, the Justice Department has announced that they are investigating whether Harvard University's financial aid practices discriminate against American students. Opening a compliance review under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 focused on scholarship programs funded by China-based donors. At the center of the investigation is a question with implications far beyond just Harvard. Can a university accept foreign donations that come with strings attached? Specifically, requirements that the money fund financial aid favoring students from particular countries, while also receiving federal dollars that prohibit discrimination based on national origin? Here's a quote from the Assistant Attorney General who leads the Civil Rights Division, and I quote, "Every American student should have an equal opportunity to compete for college scholarships, grants, and other kinds of financial aid and benefits. Schools cannot take federal dollars and then turn around and accept money from foreign sources to give financial aid that deliberately excludes American citizens. Doing so is illegal, and we will stop it wherever we find it." End quote. Strong words. The department stressed it has not reached any conclusions. Harvard, I keep saying it like that, but you know what I mean, in a statement to the Harvard Crimson, said, quote, "It does not unlawfully discriminate on the basis of race, ethnicity, or national origin in allocating federal or financial aid." End quote. And that it is reviewing the letter and will engage with the government. Here's what triggered the investigation. The review grew out of an audit of Harvard's foreign funding disclosures. Under Section 117 of the Higher Education Act of 1965, colleges and universities must self-report foreign gifts and contracts valued at $250,000 or more. The Department of Education publishes those disclosures at foreignfundinghighered.gov, which is a new public portal the agency launched to make foreign funding data easier to inspect. According to the Justice Department, those findings show Harvard is the American university receiving the most foreign funding, $4.5 billion disclosed. Yowza! Its single largest source of foreign money is China, accounting for more than $630 million. Here's what caught the investigators' attention. It was actually not the size of the funding, but its terms. In a letter sent July 20th to Harvard's Vice President and General Counsel Jennifer O'Connor, the Civil Rights Division said Harvard's own disclosures show that multiple China-based gifts and contracts restrict how the university can use the money, including requirements that Harvard support or establish, quote, financial aid funds with preference given to students from particular countries, end quote. Uh-oh. The department's theory is that by accepting those funds and honoring those restrictions, Harvard may be awarding financial aid based on national origin, which would presumably favor Chinese students. Yeah, to the potential detriment of students from other countries, including, of course, the United States. Title VI prohibits any recipient of federal financial assistance from discriminating on the basis of race, color, or national origin. Here's what Harvard must do. The letter gives Harvard until July 31st, 2026 to produce a wide range of records with instructions to contact the department by the time you will be listening to this. By the way, it already has passed, if it needs to discuss an extension. The document request covers what the department calls Chinese restricted funds, or contributions with restricted uses received from entities affiliated with the People's Republic of China or other China-based sources. Harvard must produce all documents and correspondence related to those funds, including emails, text messages, chat communications covering the gifts themselves, the restrictions donors placed on them, Harvard's policies for handling them, transfers of the money to students, and the nationalities preferred in any aid programs the funds support. The stakes escalate if the review finds a violation. Oh boy. Under federal regulations, the department would first work with Harvard to secure compliance voluntarily. If that fails, it can move to suspend, terminate, or refuse to continue Harvard's federal financial aid programs, or file a civil suit. The larger battle between Harvard and the Trump administration. This has been in the news before, right? The review is the latest in a series of federal actions targeting Harvard specifically under the Trump administration. Harvard has faced a string of reviews tied to race and admissions, and at one point, Trump even threatened to challenge Harvard's tax-exempt status. Harvard is not the only school under the microscope, though. Federal civil rights enforcement has swept across higher education. At one point, 60 universities faced warnings over discrimination complaints, and the Education Department has revived Section 117 enforcement with its own foreign funding investigation into the University of California, Berkeley, signaling that disclosure records are becoming a routine starting point for federal scrutiny of universities. The department's message in this case is that those disclosures are not just paperwork, but rather potential evidence that can trigger civil rights enforcement. Here's what this means for students. Most families, the immediate impact is limited, though. Like, this is just a compliance review, not a finding. There's no financial aid programs that have been suspended, but the case does touch on issues that matter to anyone paying for college. First, of course, restricted scholarships are common across higher education. Donors regularly earmark aid for students from a particular state, high school, field of study, or background. This investigation tests where the legal line sits when those restrictions involve national origin at a school receiving federal funds. A finding against Harvard could push universities nationwide to restructure or decline donor-restricted aid tied to nationality, which could change what scholarships exist and who qualifies for them. The second thing, families can now see for themselves where universities do actually get their foreign money. The foreignfundinghighered.gov portal lets anyone look up a school's disclosed foreign gifts and contracts, which can be useful context for families weighing institutions. And of course, a reminder that university aid budgets draw from a whole bunch of sources with many different conditions attached. Third, if the dispute escalates to a funding fight, students then could actually feel it. Federal financial assistance underpins budgets and, through federal student aid, flows to students directly. Harvard has, so far, kept its signature aid commitments, including free tuition for families earning under $200K, but a prolonged battle over federal funds adds financial pressure to any institution, even one with the largest endowment, which already faces a higher federal endowment tax. That is our show for today. I know a lot crammed into that one, but you can find the link and resources and everything to dive deeper on this topic and everything we talk about on the podcast, actually, at thecollegeinvestor.com. Like, follow, all the things on social media. You'll find us. Just click on or just type in the words The College Investor, and you'll find us pretty much anywhere you are. Thanks so much for stopping by today, and we'll talk to you again real soon.